worse.
It's definitely got worse.
Now it's time for Bob to weld it up. This is an aluminium 24 hours, and this time I'm being 24 hours. I'm not going to be leaving my workshop for a full 24 hours. 9 hours left. In an attempt to rebuild a car I've never worked on before. I can see oil. I'm not going to cross this line unless I need to test drive. But what? When I saw this car at the salvage auction, I looked like all this But there's one serious and expensive fault which I think is the reason this GTR ended up at the salvage yard. The transmission fault.
Transmission.
The transmission.
The transmission.
In the early Nissan GTRs, the transmission
time that you get crashed into.
Yeah, I know, that's what doesn't make sense. Yeah, why?
Oh, my gearbox went and then
Someone crashed, yeah. What a convenience, now I've got to pay out from the insurance.
That wouldn't happen.
It just, like, it'd be so convenient for that to happen. Like, if the gearbox went, and then you rang Nissan, and you said, hey mate, my gearbox gone, how much? They would go, 30 grand for a gearbox, plus labour. I'd be like, oh no. And then the next day, someone crashes into it, and you go, oh no, someone's crashed into my GTR, I'm going to have to get my payout for the car. It'd be so unfortunate.
Have you ever struggled to find the perfect supplier or validate a product idea, wasting weeks on research? I've been selling on Amazon over 7 years and coaching students for over 5 years, and I'll tell you this is one of the leading causes of people never getting started. They fall into analysis paralysis, even finding the high quality product they wanted to start, and then when it comes to the full business plan, they completely fall short and never get started. Well, the AI tool Axio just made sourcing way easier with 2 brand new features, business research and deep search. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how these game-changing tools completely transform the way you source and launch your products. I'll leave a link in the description below for Axio so you can try it out for free yourself. Axio, powered by Alibaba, is an AI-powered sourcing engine that helps e-commerce sellers access over 1.5 million verified suppliers, over 400 million top-quality products, and crucial market insights in under 2 seconds. And with these new features, it's even more powerful. I'd estimate Axio users find the right product and product posting in 1 day, and you end up turning that 2-week process of negotiating and finding the right product that you normally would spend into a 10-second process, saving you 99% of time. Using Axio is extremely efficient, flexible, and smart. It pretty much feels like you're speaking directly with a professional product research specialist. So again, we're going to look at 2 of their brand new features, Deep Search, which helps provide instant solutions for any complex sourcing requirements, and their business research tool, which validates business ideas with real-time data and market trends. So we'll start with business research, and I'll show you exactly how it helps you make smarter decisions when launching a new business. So we'll go ahead and start by clicking on the business research tool, and I'm going to go ahead and simply ask it this question. Launching a trending brand in the eco-friendly health goods niche, how can I make this business profitable and sustainable? I'll go ahead and run the search button right here, and you can see it pretty much spit out an entire business plan in a matter of seconds, sourcing from over 34 different websites and 38 total sources. So you can see it's analyzed all the requirements for my new business idea, starting with what are going to be the sustainable materials that I can start putting on my packaging for the product. So we'll see we want to start sourcing the things around organic cotton, reclaimed wood, bamboo, materials, and even giving me ideas like potentially partnering with other artisans and handmade product producers and eco-centric suppliers. That's going to help me build trust, and that's going to reach right back to the consumer, leading to me building this better brand. And I can even jump into any of the 38 different resources here. We have an article from Forbes, which I can look at, talks about 20 strategies for balancing business sustainability with profitability, and I can learn more about exactly how to market these products to my customers. This looks like a pretty helpful website right here. What are 20 interior design trends for 2025? These are even ideas I can use maybe in my product photography. I can kind of portray the vibe, exactly what my customers want to see when purchasing this type of a product. We have integrated outdoor living. You know, actually one of my earlier on students started to sell high ticket outdoor waterproof TVs that ended up doing really well and really profitable videos, and that was all having to do with this integrated outdoor living. We have a waterproof TV outside on their patio while they're barbecuing. They have the TV there watching the football game or whatever's going on. So these articles are really helpful to give you more ideas, but I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and even collect more information about this business idea I want to start up. I could potentially integrate something about a circular economy and waste reduction, talking about, hey, we'll buy this product back if it was a defect, and we'll go ahead and recycle it, reuse those materials to produce a new refurbished product. Or just really educating the consumer on storytelling, highlighting certifications, trends. Definitely heard of the rustic look, kind of talking about that exposed brick maybe, or the rattan type products. And Axio's even pulling from articles showing me exactly the consumer preferences that they want in their types of products, maybe down to the types of colors they want in it. It looks like 52% of customers like earthy colors with these types of products. Axio's giving me ideas about how I should price and market my products. So if you want to go with premium prices, products, then revising the search strategy, finding a deeper level of products here, and it just goes on and on. That's why you want to ask deep search really complex questions so it can dive into exactly the type of product you're looking at. It just came up with a bunch of different solar powered water filters here. It says it right here. This water filter offers a solar powered operation and alkaline ceramic filtration. From here, I could just take a look at one that I'm kind of interested in. And if I really want to reach out to the supplier, I can do that right here by pressing chat now. You can see the filter life is 6 months. There's a 5-stage filter in it and the different functions on it, from having a flashlight to SOS signal. I can see the supplier reviews here, which is only 3.8 stars, so not that great. And you can find the product being produced by another supplier and go from there. I can also see their average response time. It's really giving me verified suppliers and manufacturers to work with right away. This was always a real issue with me starting a new product. I wanted to make sure I was actually buying from the manufacturer and not just a trading company. Not only that, I wanted to make sure I was buying from a reputable supplier with the verified badge, which meant there was a third-party inspection company that came in to make sure all the manufacturers
step is to plug it into the OBD port, then we can read the code. Imagine this does it.
This will be a bargain if that's the case.
Yeah. Engine pass. It should be a fail for ABS. Yes.
Okay, that's
We
positive.
do have a fault for ABS. We waited for the car to read all of the codes. Then we can get an idea of what's going wrong. Okay. So, transmission, solenoid. As I thought, one of the faults is for a solenoid in the gearbox, along with another fault as well. Control module performance. Could be because the battery is low.
If this works, I swear. If that 60 quid battery fixes that gearbox, that's going to be crazy. But why would it have a
If it's low, if your batteries are low, it will bring up a load of fault codes, which are just going to be past faults. Now we've got a new battery on it. This error is about low battery, dead battery, bad battery, or problem. It's going to be a battery. We're hoping this fault was just caused by a low battery. So what I'm going to do now is clear that fault code to see if any of them come back when we rescan it. Those have been successfully erased. Good news. Okay. It seems to have done it. There's a bunch more codes on the car, which I'm just going to clear off, and then later we'll see what comes back. I've got no faults left. No faults left over. Ignition's off now. And we start it up, and I think I need to test drive it. Please, if there's no flashing light from the start up, we're on to a winner. There's no light. There's no light. There's no light. We've got traction control light. ESP sim system malfunction. Visit dealer. It might just need driving. It might need driving, wouldn't it? If this has fixed it, this is the best. I'm allowed out, but as long as I don't touch the outside world. The rules are I'm allowed out the unit as long as I'm test driving the car. Could it be the car only needed a £60 battery to fix the transmission fault? The brakes, we still have no brakes, so there is definitely an issue there. Will it go into manual? It will. Oh,
It's driving well smooth.
no way has it fixed it. No. It's so much better. Second gear, we've got a fault. Oh, haven't we? Yeah, we've got a fault, but it's an ABS fault. ABS malfunction. It seems to be working. We do have a fault which has come back about the ABS and the traction control, but we think the transmission fault is fixed. So I'm going to go into auto. I'm pulling off.
It worked!
No way! No way! It's so much better. We really could be onto a winner here. One transmission fault fixed already, and I've still got 23 hours left to fix the rest of the damage. It's looking more and more possible. So we've got transmission fault done, but we've got ABS fault, a broken door, and a broken rear quarter. With 23 hours remaining, I think I've just bought myself at least 10 hours of gearbox fault solving. Now, it's up in the air for the GTR to see if we can see anything unusual underneath the car. An oil leak here, looks like a lot of oil.
Oh yeah.
It seems we've got a small oil leak coming from around the gearbox. So we need to inspect that.
Look at that.
Look at that!
You can tell it from
Well-
Devon. Oh my god, look, there's bits of it missing.
The exhaust is definitely rusted. Do you know what, though? It looks like all OEM bolts underneath, which is a sign of like a really well looked after car. The rust is probably explained by it being in Devon and saved the lifeboats. It's going to have lived near the sea, innit? Earlier, we seen that on the number plate, the car's come from Dorset, which is on the coast in the UK. So it's been around some salty water. To back this up, we can see that he supported the lifeboats. Maybe this was a lifeboat, the amount of rust that's underneath it. But I still think it should clean up well. Look at this, we think we found some sort of clue to the brakes. Check out this, look, the caliper looks like it's being spaced. And look at that. That can't be original.
Why would you space the caliper?
The only reason you space the caliper is if you put a bigger disc on there. But that still doesn't explain why we don't have a brake pedal. But before we jump onto the brakes, I'm just slightly worried, Jack. we know how bad these gearboxes are, and it looks like there is oil down here, so we want to inspect where that's coming from first, which means we've got to remove this panel. Then we can move on to try and getting these brakes working, and I think if we can get the brakes working without like buying anything, this is a bloody good car. To get to the oil leak, we've got to remove this huge under tray. Then I've got my fingers crossed that it's nothing drastic. We found where the oil leak's coming from.
Could be coming out the switch.
Look, so this oil leak is actually coming from, I don't know what, a position, maybe a position switch, because look, here you can see the shifter arm, where it will select it into neutral, park, reverse, drive, whatever you like, but check this out. I removed that just 2 seconds ago, and all oil was all inside of here.
What, oil in the electric?
Yeah, it's coming down the switch.
Terminals, the switch.
Oh.
A new switch should solve that oil leak, so I'm gonna have to order one.
You got a new exhaust for this?
I don't know.
I bet this is the only car you're not putting an exhaust on, and it needs a new one.
My dad's right, this exhaust has seen better days, but that wasn't on my list of things I needed to fix. Let's solve this brake issue. 22 hours, got so much time. Only changed 2 panels as well. Wrong slide. How good is stooding up? This wheel, I don't think has been cleaned ever. Look at all the brake dust on it.
And they put the new weights
Over. Yeah. What the hell? And look at that, the tyre is stretched on, so it's the wrong size tyre, and it's a radar. It just doesn't match any of the other tyres. Right, these brake discs, you reckon they're OEM? They're pretty new.
We need to measure them and compare them to the stock ones.
We do. And then we can see whether those spacers are on the caliper because he's upgraded the brakes. So far, nothing's given away why we've got spongy brakes. But we can see a spacer behind the caliper because potentially it's got upgraded discs on. You can buy upgraded 390mm. So he's going to measure the disc to see if it was the upgraded one.
390.
390 the upgraded. So it was an upgraded disc, and that explains the spacers behind the caliper. But it doesn't explain why the brake pedal pushes to the floor. Now, the reason why you get a spongy brake in a car, as we all know, is because there's going to be air in the hydraulic system. And the way to get the air out is to undo these bleed nipples on each corner, and hopefully that will get the air out of the system. If there's no air in the system, then we have an issue with the brakes, which is not good. Could it just be the case of bleeding the brakes, then we'll get a pedal? I guess if we're lucky.
I'm giving it a brake fluid change.
Which I think is a good idea. My dad's sucking out all the old brake fluid, and then we're going to replace it with some fresh fluid.
So I'm going to fill the reservoir up now with clean fluid.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's empty.
And then when my dad puts in the fresh Valvoline fluid, it should push the rest of the old fluid out of the system. And at the same time, we should get out any air that's in the system as well. My dad's going to each corner whilst I'm pumping the brakes in the car. Hopefully we can get a pedal. Pedal test. It's rock hard.
Really?
Yeah, it's rock hard. Look at it. Rock hard.
In the shadows of need, it's pure water that nurtures life. And food shared with love brings hope. Yours, a God, makes possible what matters most. In a confined refugee camp, a mother's trembling hands hold the echoes of unspoken truths. Children wait in silence, dreams suspended in the darkness. Zakat isn't just money. It's why tears of joy fall and is the reason so many smile before they sleep. With Zakat flows blessings. With Zakat sparks change, not just in their world, but deep within our own. Your Zakat empowers us to serve with unwavering compassion. Give this Ramadan like it's your last.
We fixed this for £0. No, £60 at the minute. But why has it got an ABS fault on the dash? Even though I had a brake pedal, I still had a fault for the ABS and the traction control. ESP system malfunction. We've got this valve set code. Now the traction control works by slowing down a wheel it thinks is accelerating too fast compared to the others, stopping wheel spin. And the ABS works when it thinks one wheel is slowing down too much compared to the other wheels to stop skidding. But there's one type of sensor you need for both of these systems to work, and that's a wheel speed sensor. These sensors tell both the ABS and the traction control how fast each wheel is turning at one time. And if there's a fault with any one of these wheel speed sensors, then of course we're going to get a fault for the ABS and traction control. So what I'm doing now is taking the GTR on another test drive with readings from each wheel speed sensor to make sure they're all reading the same speed as each other. Yeah, left unlock. Now all should read same speed. And it looks like they are. Yeah, there's no obvious signs, is there?
Is the ABS like that?
Yeah, I've got ABS and ESP malfunction. So it's this valve set is the issue. Now again, just like the gearbox, the ABS works with solenoids. If the ECU detects that one wheel is skidding, it will send a signal to one of the solenoids to stop sending brake power to that skidding wheel. Now it's possible that this valve set fault means something to do with the solenoids. Only way we can do is get it back to the unit and investigate more. We've still got a door and a rear quarter to go, but we have fixed the brakes and we have fixed the gearbox. Time was ticking. We got the car back in the unit and just tested everything. All the relays for the ABS, which all seemed okay. But then we think we found a solution. The C1193 code is to do with the ABS pump, and the ABS pump needs to be calibrated with a tool, which we haven't got. This person's tried to use ECU Tech to try it, but it didn't work for him. In the end, the solution was 150 quid to run a calibration at the Nissan dealership, and then it worked. So why would it need a valve calibration?
I wonder if it's because the battery's been going flat.
And then it needs to recalibrate.
Yeah, it needs to recalibrate.
That's it. That's it. We're going to have to go to Nissan. And it is now 5 to 7 on a Friday. Well, I'm still taking it as a win because we've got the brakes working, the transmission's working. We're 60 quid in and everything works. So apart from there's a lot. So again, the conclusion has come down to electrical stuff. Stupid. But now we can move on to the bodywork, which is a little more straightforward. Okay, doors coming off, guys. So my dad reckons they only use 12, 14s and 15s on Japanese cars. And he'd be correct because that is a 12mm. This door is made out of aluminium, and because of that it makes it pretty hard to repair. And also, second-hand doors weren't too expensive. So I'm just going to remove this door and replace it with a second-hand one. There's one bolt for the top hinge, one bolt for the bottom hinge, the check strap in the middle, then the wiring. Whoa!
I've got you, bro. I've got you.
That come off. Okay, door off. And once I've got the door off, we need to make sure we strip everything from it. The door card and the wing mirror. Chris is here. And he's dropped in to help. So what Chris is going to do is take this door card off, ain't you, Chris? Yeah, so Chris is going to do that whilst we take more damaged parts off. And the next one is the rear quarter. And there's not many 12mm you need to get that off. Go, Chris.
Going.
Chris started stripping apart the door card off the old door because we're going to need this to put on the second-hand door. Rear quarter, to replace it, takes a lot of work, which means we've got to remove it. See all these? Spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, spot weld. And it doesn't just stop there, it's going to go all the way inside this window, all the way down this glass, which I may say, screensaver already come before I started the 24-hour challenge to remove the screen, so we had a little slight head start. They did it. Good job. Screen is out. This screen is also out as well. can we do it in under 19 hours, off and on with a new one? There's only one way to find out. Unlike the door, the rear quarter is steel, which makes it a little easier to repair, but we're gonna need a body shop to do that, and it was pretty cheap for a new rear quarter. As someone did say, when you remove this, order new clips, because they do break.
Have you ordered new clips?
No.
Oh. You just said I'm going in with confidence. Oh, no! No!
Oh no!
Don't have break damage, these three will give us enough.
Oh no.
The guy that told him about the clips.
He didn't
That's
tell
what
me
happened.
about the whole
That's
thing.
what he did. He broke.
Oh, he
his,
did. He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
The lad who told me about the clips told me as well, when he pulled this off, he broke that trim. Mistakes were made. It's always gonna happen. And it actually turns out this trim is screwed on from underneath. The good news is that I think we could actually repair this to go back on. But of course, that's gonna take even more precious time away from us.
It's off. Do you know what it was? Stupid. 10 bolts for a door card, plus like clips. That's a lot.
Wow! This was an absolute bargain. eBay. £350, same colour, and it even come with the wiring, the door handle, and a window glass as well. But we are gonna have to switch some stuff. Someone's actually upgraded the speaker in this one to an Audison, and they've also chopped the OEM wiring off. You can see the two red connectors here. Chris is back at the door card putting in the OEM wiring plugs for the speaker. Then he's also got to switch over the wing mirror from the old door onto the new one.
What's next, Chris?
Mirror's going in. And then once the mirror's in, glass goes back in.
We're switching the glass over from the old one onto the new one because the second-hand one come with tinted glass, and also the glass is marked with a VIN number, so we're going to make sure that they all match up. Then finally, it's back on with the door card. Well done, Chris.
Let's go.
Has JDM the door out. Chris has cracked open a Red Bull, which means we are a quarter of the way through. Meanwhile, we've been taken off the side skirt. The screws on this side skirt were so rusty. The most rustiest screws in the world.
That's Nissan.
You're a hater on the Nissan.
Not really Nissan screws.
Which means we have to be really careful when removing them. There's a full-on beach coming out of the side. There's literally a beach on the vlog. I don't know what the previous owner did with this GTR, but it looks like he's had some fun in it, on a beach or maybe even off-roading. But eventually, we got it off. Look at all that.
This is all broken.
Oh my god. With the side skirt off, we should be able to access everything now. 17 hours, 59 minutes left. Matt's now going, so we're down to me, my dad, and Chris. Eliminate. Anything which is attached to the rear quarter needs to be removed. All these buttons, switches, and door latches all need to come off. And once we've done that around the door shut, it's time for the boot to come off. Unbolting both hinges from each side, and then instead of disconnecting all the electrics in the boot, we're just going to lift it up and slide it through the rear screen. Now we can access all of the spot welds to drill off this rear quarter.
Chris is going to start drilling out the spot welds, but the idea here is not to go all the way through. We just want to drill off the top layer, so then we've got
If it's
the weld on here,
research,
and that's why it's using
I
this
must say.
special drill bit.
Whilst Chris was drilling out the spot welds at the front of the rear quarter, me and my dad were working on getting the rear bumper off the car so we could access all the spot welds behind the rear bumper. And it looks like the rear lights actually come off with the rear bumper, which is what I'm unbolting now. And whatever I do on one side, I've got to repeat it on the other side. As it gets later in the day and the time is still ticking down. Drilling out these spot welds is a long process. 20, 17, 23 left. Neil joined in. The more of us on this car, the more likely we are of getting it finished. With timescale. Now both me and Chris are working at drilling out those spot welds and then using the spot weld chisel to wedge in between the rear quarter and the inner structure.
OpenSilk.com, the best website to buy and sell anything. Search, call, and buy from OpenSilk.
Dad's clocking out, 17 hours remaining. Now my dad's gone. Let's get his car in the ramp so we can finally get this rear bumper off. Back goes the GTR in the 2-post ramp. We've got to get this rear bumper off now. So it's off with both wheels, and Liam's going to peek round the arch lining to undo the bolts which connect the rear bumper to the rear quarter. And on the other side, I'm going to remove the full arch lining. This car looks like it's never been cleaned. There's so much dirt. But we'll have plenty of time after the 24 hours to clean it all up and maybe ice blast it all. And once me and Liam have unscrewed all of the bolts, we should be able to lift out the
what's
rear
my
bumper
role?
complete with the rear lights as well. And the diffuser. Behind the bumper, the car's pretty clean and everything is fully
If there's
original,
something you
even the
need,
exhaust,
you'll need to pay.
which I suppose is a good sign. And now Chris is working away at separating the outer quarter from the inner arch lining structure. Right, it's getting to that time where if we don't close the shutter, we will attract 9,000 moths. And that is it. It is down. Whoa, and there's a moth already in it. That's a fat moth. It's like a bird. 16 hours. With everything exposed to the back, we're back to drilling and then chiseling out these spot welds. We've got to make sure we don't damage any panels underneath the rear quarter because that's what we're going to be welding onto. But Chris seems to be enjoying this job. So what we decided to do, instead of replacing this whole panel with all the light section and everything else in there, we're going to just replace the outer quarter panel, which means we've now got to drill all these bits off this piece and keep this piece on the car, which actually is not going to be, it's going to be alright to be fair, because then we know the light is in the right position, we know the boot's going to be in the right position, it's just the quarter panel we've got to line up. So I'm going to start drilling these off. Chris is already over there drilling them ones off. Hopefully we can pull this off. I think this is the best solution. The only issue with doing this is that I risk damaging the new panel. So I've got to be as careful as possible here. But I think I've smashed it. 14 hours remaining. We're at a bit of a situationship over here. We're slowly peeling back this rear quarter. It looks an absolute mess. We're trying to, up here, the roof is on top of the rear quarter, like the actual roof panel's on top and the rear quarter slides underneath it. So we made a little cut hole here and I'm hoping that we can just like work it out and pull it out from underneath it because we don't want to damage the roof. Shot. Quarter off. Finally, we got the rear quarter panel off. What a job that was. But I'm afraid it's going to take even longer to put the new quarter panel back on. Look at this. The good news is that all of the inner structure, there is no damage. There is, oh actually, there is some inner structure damage here to like the wheel arch, which we can just tap that out, do a bit of body shopping. Now all of this has got to be cleaned up. Everywhere where there's a weld I've got to clean up. We go all the way over it with a sander and then we can start sliding in the new one eventually. Jack did tell me as well that it is best to put the quarter panel on with the wheels on, that way the car isn't supported by the body and we're not going to cause any weird flexes as well. And we also should put the door on before we put the quarter panel on to make sure that the quarter panel lines up with the door and the boot as well. Yeah, it does sound terrible and there's
mission to recapture the Calico ossuary.
We've got to make sure that the inner structure is spot on before we start fitting the other quarter panel. So with a bit of heat and a hammer, we knocked out the rear light section pretty well, and then we're using the belt to clean up anywhere where the spot was. So get the line inside. Roll it down, roll it off, and then I can stop first. Use a bit of quarter panel. Yeah, we can't mess this up. If we mess it up, it's messed up for real. £2,460. Of course, the rear quarter needs paint, but overall, I think it makes this GTR a really good deal. I don't think it has been cleaned since the door. Layers of dirt and black. So instead of us going at it, we've got the ice blast. They're going to blast ice at this and the ice on it as well. Because this is absolutely filthy. Look at this. Look at it. Why is this car like that? This GTR only has one previous owner, but it seems that owner never cleaned it. But after this, it will sure look brand new. The ice blasters are first masking up the car to stop all of the dust going on the paint, then they can get the dry ice ready. This dry ice cleaning is really clever. They're spraying high pressure dry ice onto the dirty parts of the car, which gives it a super deep clean without damaging anything. It even takes off a lot of the underseal, which the guys are going to put a fresh layer back on afterwards. With it being dry ice that they're blasting on, it doesn't get any of the parts wet, and it doesn't cause a lot of mess. You just end up with a pile of dirt on the floor afterwards. That is insane how much stuff's come off that. But look at that. All under the wheel arches now, and underneath the car, it's looking brand new. And even a fresh coat of underseal. 10 times better than this GTR was before. Now, we can begin to paint it. What do you reckon?
Right, no,
Yes.
كل عيلة لأكثر من بيت رمضان فهمتوا لأوقات تسوى.
And the next step is now paint. We should be able to start prepping the car for the paint, which means we've got to start getting off all of the side skirts, the rear bumper, the petrol cap, and probably the boot lid as well. We've got to get it all off and exposed, then we can start prepping this rear quarter, and hopefully this is going to work. And we're doing it all at my house. Let's do it. Luckily for me, I realised that we was going to have to paint the car beforehand, so I left a lot of the stuff loose.
Yes.
First off was the side skirt, then the 2 nuts holding on this little door shut piece, then the 2 bolts holding on the door latch, and then I can start taking off the seal around the door.
Have you ever painted anything before?
Like a BMX frame. This is going to be a completely new challenge for me, so I'm really excited to see how it actually goes. Meanwhile, Kevin was enjoying himself. What? Yeah, he's broke, yeah. We need to make sure that the quarter panel that we're painting is fully clear of all of the other parts, like this top A-pillar trim here. But yeah, we did break that in the last video. When I say we, I meant me. And because I was thinking ahead, I didn't properly put in the glass in the last video, so we can lift both the rear quarter glass out and the rear glass and put them aside. Then I can start removing the petrol cap. Let's get this bumper off, it's a big job. Here we go. The rear lights actually come off with the rear bumper, and again I've left this all loose so it's nice and easy for me to remove. Just loads of 8mm bolts holding it on inside the boot. Then of course the 2 electrical connections for both rear lights. Time to jack it up, get the wheel off. Then I can start by removing the rear arch lining so I can access the screw holding in the rear bumper. And look how clean it is under it.
Failure.
The ice blast
Commence mission to recapture the bio-experiment lab.
On the right hand side, I can move over on the left hand side, do the same thing. There's one 10mm bolt holding the bottom of the bumper, and I've got to do the same on the other side as well. Whilst Kevin is still at that tree. Then finally, I can start pulling the bumper away, but not without removing all of the bolts out of the We shouldn't be able to inflate it.
Don't use outdoors on a rainy or windy day. No, it doesn't say that.
It does,
Where does it say that?
Step number 3.
Down here. You use outdoors on rainy or windy days. We should have read that first.
It says, the booth is not waterproof.
You joking?
So,
It's supposed to be thunderstorm. No, I'm not even joking. It's supposed to be lightning tomorrow. Tuesday the 16th. Lightning.
okay. So should we blow it up, see what it looks like? Because we're in.
Ready to undertake a
Then we might have to wait till the sky to put the GTR in. But every single day in England it's windy and rainy. Yeah, no wonder he sold it on Facebook Marketplace. The problem I have is that this booth needs to stay up overnight. Because on one of the steps after we primer it, we need to leave it to set. But we're here now. 3, 2, 1, lift off! It says zip up the zips. And the paper is coming alive. It was actually working. But we made a mistake. What's this one?
That's the oh no.
What?
That's the blow up hole. Because these are the pillars that hold it up. No way. Neil, we've done it wrong. Neil, we've done it wrong.
No wonder it's blowing up from the inside.
Because that's the extractor. Oh my.
Look,
Come here.
No, it's gonna take off. No, this is where you meant to. Oh no! Now this is just gonna be a giant bubble and it's gonna explode. It's gonna burst. clean and dry.
There's no way this tent is staying up for 48 hours in English weather. There's literally puddles forming in the Menage. These have got to turn off, otherwise they're literally going to explode. That is going to just go bang.
The weight of the rain was just collapsing the tent.
You pulled it over! It's going down, that gallery! It's going down! It's gone. It's gone. Why has it gone down? It's gone down.
There was no saving us now. And we just had to admit defeat.
Well, that did not work at all. Well, lesson learned, we did this, so you don't have to. Take your cars to the body shop because not fluid to quick catch you.
And that's exactly where we went next. Back to the body shop.
At the body shop.
And really, it was back to square one. Of DA in the panel down with the E180. Remember, the prep work is the key. So we've got to make sure it's right. After I've DA'd the panel, I can then do the corners by hand. Making sure I get ink everywhere, even inside the petrol filler area. Once that's all prepped, time to go into the actual paint booth. We're going to add up the total cost of all the equipment that we've used to paint this car at the end of the video. I've got a feeling it'll be a little bit more than our £300 paint booth. Then we're on to the next step, getting rid of all the dust off the panels. Let's go. Okay, it's all in. We're going to take the door off because we've got to paint on the inside of this door shut as well. So let's get it off. We've had this door off many times before. There's one bolt holding the check strap in, a nut at the top of the door hinge, a nut at the bottom of the door hinge, and then just the wiring to disconnect. Then me and Matt can lift the door of sticky cloth to clean off any dust or any of the dirt which is sticking to the panel. And rubbing that cloth along the panel causes static, which is why Chris has brought out a stab gun. I've never seen one of these before, but by spraying it over the panel, it clears off any static that the panel has.
Now we have a random tank top to the panel thanks to the guys at Pittsfield, which you guys will see one of them maybe after this video on the GTR, if you are subscribed to the channel, of course. One of those guys gave me this. He said it's the same colour, but to make sure it's absolutely spot on the same colour, we're going to spray into it so it's the same colour as the floor panel as well.
After that, we're going to mix the paint. Chris puts in the paint code into the computer, then it will give us a list of all the tints we need to add into the pot and the weight we need to add to make the correct paint code. We start off with this. Then go down to here. Go until it says 0. See if everything looks good, so push it. After that, the computer will tell us what number it is next. But to also blend in the door.
Okay, so we've blended into the door, well Chris did, and but at the minute, I still think it doesn't look the colour, but there's still the clear coat to go on, 2 layers of clear coat. But this is where we could really mess it up. So, and we don't want to be here till God 12. So Chris is going to clear coat it now, and hopefully then it will all come together and be shiny, but I still think it's looking a bit dark, but it could be my fault for mixing the wrong paint.
Now it's time for the clear coat. The thing that makes it look shiny. Right now it's looking pretty satin. Now normally you do this whole process over a couple of days at least to make sure all the primer gas is out and any layers underneath that. But as the body shop are allowing me to borrow this paint booth in the evening, we only have a limited amount of time. So we've actually managed to do this all in one day, but we're never going to get the best finish that way. And for that reason, I'm letting Chris do the clear coating, because this is one of the most trickiest parts, and one of the easiest parts to get wrong. We don't want any drips in the final stage. But after 2 layers of the clear coat, the job was just about done.
I still think it's dark.
No, I think that's fine.
I think it's just because it's so...
The space-time fabric of the void is extremely
It
logical.
looks well good though. It does shine on that.
I think we're not going to tell until we put it all back together, but we've got to wait for it to dry before we even touch this.
See you in the morning.
In the morning, the rear quarter glass went in, so did the back glass, because it was good news.
Seals on, seals in. It's time for the mods. It's time for the mods. I think that is looking. The petrol cap, we did actually forget to paint the petrol cap, so it's still at the body shop. Oh my god, look at this GTR. Cheap, decent. Nissan GTR. All we've got to do is start these mods now, and we can actually start improving this thing. Get it on the road for the first time since the crash. Take a look at my mods. So first off, we have this, a full carbon fibre Nismo style side skirt, which is going to replace standard side skirt. So I think this should, I don't know how well it's going to fit, because this is proper rigid, whereas like the side skirt on this is like really like flexible, so it's got to fit pretty much bang on. Well, it's got to be pretty much bang on for it to fit nice. So I think we may need to do a bit of persuasion to get it on, but we'll give it a go. First thing I'm going to do is install the new side skirts with some brand new clips. Then line it up to the car to see how well it fits without doing any modifications. And it wasn't too bad, but I'm going to do what Mansouri does and just add a little tiger seal to every one of the clips to make sure that this side skirt fully holds in place, especially with what I've got planned to do with it later. And there it is, all fitted. Looks way more aggressive now. Look at this, it's got like more of an aggressive lip to it now. Look at that, it's just flat. And of course, I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. But this time I've removed the door to make it that little bit easier to fit. Once both of them are fitted, I can then start reversing the GTR and the ramp, because we can't do the side skirts without doing the front splitter. For some reason, Nissan decided to use rivets to rivet on front splitter to an under tray. There's a bolt there. There's also a bottom of a rivet there. This is going to be riveted and bolted. It seems like Nissan have designed the lower splitter and the under tray to be all one piece, which kind of actually makes sense. It gives it way more structure, and I'm hoping by undoing all these temporary bolts, I should be able to separate it from the bumper. Yes. Oh look, he's been drinking a mango. Oh my god, it's a burning front splitter, isn't it? Now I can line up the new carbon splitter to the front bumper, but it didn't seem as easy as that.
Yeah, that looks way better.
Okay. Seems like the bumper's got to come off. Otherwise, because we can't get to these bolts in the rear. Can't get to them.
Because on the original spot it has holes for those problems you pull the run.
Yeah, like a big, it has a,
Pull the runners out and you can get to it.
yeah, we'd have to make a hole like straight through there if we need to do it. Get it off.
Bumper off.
I think it's bumper off. Now luckily for me, the front bumper comes off on this GTR fairly easily. There's literally 2 bolts behind the wheel arch lining, and then the rest is all on clips. And hopefully now I'll be able to access the bolts to bolt the front splitter to the bumper. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can see here where the bolts go through into the bumper, and we never would have been able to access this whilst it was on the car, because the actual splitter blocks you from getting to it. On the stock splitter, holes were drilled underneath it, and then you can put your socket through the holes to access these bolts. But you won't want to be drilling any holes through this carbon fibre one. And now that I've got the bolts fitted and the splitter attached to the bumper, I can start lining it back up onto the car. I have to say, these Japanese cars are fairly easy to work on. I wouldn't say they're as well put together as the German ones, but they're definitely more DIY friendly. And I'm really enjoying it. Now to put back in all the bolts that I've taken out and fit this front bumper for good, making sure it is properly secure. Splitters on, but we can't do the front side and not the back. Let's do the back. Next up, diffuser. Now we got this from Night Racer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So shout out to Night Racer. We got this diffuser. We managed to get the front splitter and side skirt, but Night Racer was the rear diffuser. So we're hoping this is actually it looks better than anything else as well. Now this turned out to be tricky.
see, it's a huge panel. After that, I'm going to separate the lower under tray from the diffuser. Here it is, one big carbon diffuser. Now I can slide on the new rear diffuser, big carbon fibre one, and it's looking really good. But there is an issue. This is the aftermarket, and this is the stock under tray. But we think it sort of slides over it to go in, because otherwise you just lose all your under tray, which it needs for aero. But the thing is, this doesn't really slide into the aftermarket diffuser. To commit to fitting this rear diffuser means we've got to chop this standard carbon diffuser, which is not cheap at all. If we chop it, it means that we can get it in there. I think we're going to chop the edges off, because all we need is those holes to line up to those holes.
But you don't even need them, do you?
No, we don't need one, but it would be nice to get to that point, and then we can bolt everything on through. I don't know if this is how you meant to fit it.
We just don't want to risk breaking this diffuser because it's so close to finishing the car.
Yeah, without that diffuser, it's not going to look right.
Not at all.
Right, okay. I'm going to be I think it's best at this point for me not to look at the price of this carbon fibre under tray, because I'm absolutely butchering it now in order to fit our new carbon fibre diffuser. I'm hoping by cutting off this section here, I should be able to slide it into the new carbon fibre rear diffuser. And luckily for me, it does seem to be working. Slide it straight in, and then all the bolt holes line up. So now I've got the aftermarket rear diffuser on with the OEM rear under tray. Believe it or not, that seems to have worked. We've still got an under tray, and we've still got a diffuser. We've left all the nuts a little bit loose in case we need to move anything else on the car. It's quite late at night, and all the flights.
You can see the blue.
We've got to fix it, because this is my drive home. This is my ride home after we get this car on the road. Let's get this bumper on. This is a big finale now of how it's going to look. We still have a few more mods as well, but whether we'll make it in this video, we will see. Let's see how well this fits. Now, whilst I was fitting the rear bumper and the new diffuser back onto the car, it got me thinking whether it was actually worth spending the time on painting that rear quarter ourselves. We did use a lot of equipment and spent a lot of time doing it, and I wanted to tally up all the parts that we used to do it. Let's go from the start. The 180 grit sandpaper, £15 for the box. The DA, the one we used at the body shop, was £400. The compressor for the airline, £600. Panel wipe, £20. All the masking tape and brown paper collectively, £80. The paint guns, £1,535. The spray suit, which also come with this belt, £80. The mask, £414. Epoxy primer, £120 for the kit. High build primer, £90 for the kit. The charcoal thing, £23. 500 grit sandpaper, £15. The tack cloths, £16. The anti-static gun, £1,995. The actual paint for the car, £120. This blowy thing on the end of the airline, £87. And the clear coat, £200 for the kit. And that's not to mention the paint booth that we used, the paint mixing machine, the paint gun cleaning machine, and so much more. But it still brings the total cost of £5,810. Now, of course, I'm going to be able to use a lot of these tools for another job. But what would it have cost if I just got this painted at the body shop? How much would it really be to paint a quarter like that?
A job like that, about £1,000.
So I'll leave it up to you to decide whether that was worth it or not. For me, the experience of learning how to do it was worth a lot more. And now, I can show you the results.
Don't give me this. Don't give me that. That's what you get when you act the fool. Just one of these days.
This is the first time driving a GTR. It looks good. Let's go.
It's gonna get personal.
This is truly a dream. The car looks amazing.
Oh, what a car.
And it's driving great as well. It's kind of what they're built for.
The back garden with the GTR. How is it that we get to do this? This is crazy. Look at that. Yeah.
Oh my god! It's so... What a car!
Why does it sound so good?
Does it sound good? Yeah, I can hear it
Really
go
good.
whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Weapon. Well, successful. We couldn't get the quarter mile under 12 seconds. Come on! And that's all it's got. I think that's all it's got.
So we're consistently doing around 12.2. There's no improving that.
I think we're going to need some more power.
Everything here, from Litchfield, should give us the ingredients to make a 10-second car, hopefully. So, we need more power. We need more noise. We need more air and we need more fuel. Litchfield have told us with these parts and to fit them, we've got to take the engine out.
Oh, you're having it.
We didn't tell him.
Well, literally, we've known that for weeks. And we didn't tell you.
So the engine's got to come out to fit these parts. 3 days. We've got 3 days to have this engine out, modified, put back in and roll in. Yeah?
No problem.
So we've got to get the engine out, which is something we've never done before on this GTR.
Next step, exhaust.
First step is to remove this old haggard exhaust so we can access the prop shaft underneath it and disconnect it from the gearbox to the engine. To get to the exhaust, we need to remove the rear diffuser first. Down it comes. Who did all this? Now we can see the back box and I can access the bolts which hold them in.
Guess what I'm doing, Matthew?
What are you doing, Anthony?
Great job.
Cutting.
Cutting that other bolt off.
Some of the bolts were so rusty that they just needed cutting off, which gave us a perfect opportunity to prank our second cameraman, Toby. He doesn't have too much mechanical knowledge.
Because we don't want this, we need the spots. We don't want it to go everywhere. Just see where they go. Just do a different so he knows where they're going.
Now here, commence mission to recapture the bioexperiment lab.
Yeah, you get this one.
know how this works, but let me try and explain it for people that don't. On an engine with a turbocharger, when the exhaust gas is released, it passes through the hot side of the turbo, spinning the it's also spinning the cold side of the turbo, which is compressing cold air into the inlet air. That makes it more power, because the more air we have going into the engine, the more fuel we do, but we get a big explosion, which in turn gives us more power. So naturally, if we increase the size of the turbo, this actually is proven protection in extreme conditions, used by racing drivers and all sorts, so it's perfect for our performance engine. The best thing, Valvoline not only do oil, do loads of additives like coolant and everything like that, we're a Valvoline partner, we're on partner with them in Aston Martin F1 team as well. Good news is that it's got dipstick so we can see how many thousand. a case of pushing it back into the fuel tank and bolting everything back up. And after that, we could put the rear seat back in and it could be finally time to start it. Let's start this thing 10:25. Tomorrow, we're on the dyno at 9 o'clock in the morning, less than 12 hours away. We've just done all of those modifications. The chances of this starting without any problems is very, very, very slim. We know that the ECU will not handle this car at the minute because it doesn't know that it's done all the mods. It's going to start up and it's going to be like, what the hell is going on? That's why we need to get the car tuned. But at the minute, we just want to make sure that everything is oil, air, and coolant tight. And I want to hear what it sounds like. I'm starting it. Right. The oil's in there. The correct amount of oil. I didn't check the dipstick. Coolant, gearbox oil, and my back wheel's off the floor. Come on! Hey, we're in alright.
Oh, what?
Look what's underneath the car.
No, it's coming from there. Oh,
engine back in, see if all our modifications have worked, get this car on the dyno. If I want to get this 10-second quarter mile, this fitting has got to work. And we won't really know until we get the engine back in, all bolted up, and then started again.
Have you got your fingers crossed?
No, I don't need to have them crossed.
You think it's worked?
Yeah.
It's gonna work. Ready? Hannah's starting it. If it doesn't work, I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah. It's too early to celebrate yet, but so far so good. Let's check underneath. Yeah, Hannah, give it a little rev. And again.
Those blow valves sound
That
funny.
sounds wicked.
It was looking good. The oil was holding out. But I wanted to hear the new exhaust now. Yeah,
I like that.
that sounds really good. That sounds really good. Come on! We made it to Litchfield. The GTR made it to Litchfield, and we're clearly in the right place because there is literally GTRs absolutely everywhere. Although, that might be a bad sign. So we've got loads of things to do, and they're going to do health check, wheel alignment, and most importantly, the tune, which is what we need to get this car doing the 10-second quarter mile. How fast we're going to get it after the turbo upgrades and the injector stuff, I don't know, but we're about to find out. Let's get it in the workshop. Finally, we made it. But we're not across the line just yet. First thing, my GTR is going to go in, and the guys at Litchfield are going to give it a health check. They need to make sure everything that we've done to the car is safe before it goes on the dyno. So far, we're looking good. But we also need to solve why we have that ABS and traction control light on the dash, which I thought was due to a calibration issue. But when the guys tried to calibrate the ABS pump here, they said it wasn't working. There's a problem with the pump. ABS pump has gone on this car, and it's quite a common problem. That's why we've got the traction control light and the ABS pump light on. We thought it might need calibrating. Doesn't need calibrating. We need a whole new ABS pump. It's common. £2,300. Plus that. We need it though. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, it looks like we're fitting that. But with this, we'll have traction control. We'll have launch control. We'll have ABS, which is
attach this thing to each of the wheels, and then it uses a laser to measure the wheel alignment. It's not actually that far out. It just seems to be the back left which is a slightly out of tolerance, which is bound to happen when we've lowered a car and had the subframe off and on multiple times. But with a little adjustment, we're back into tolerance, which means it should be good for the dyno.
Good?
Yeah.
This is it. This is the time. This is going to make or break it. 530 all the oil stays in the car.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. How much power have the modifications added to the GTR?
There's parts on the wall, I think.
Graveyard and bits. Come off on the dyno.
Litchfield have a bunch of spares. Remember when I said you can't buy any internal parts for a gearbox? Well, that's why Litchfield have a load of spares. Let's hope we don't need any. Time for our first power run.
Oh, did you see that? We got good flames. Yeah, good flames. 637 brake. So 107 brake horsepower increase.
And flames.
And flames.
I reckon it's low boost. But I've heard they can do way more.
You reckon? Well, let's see.
637 definitely won't be enough. So they went again. This time 645.
What did he just do? Oh my days! 745!
And they went again. And the results are in. 784 horsepower with 627 foot-pounds of torque.
784! Oh my!
That car's rapid.
That's a joke. That is a joke.
Will this be enough to do a 10-second quarter mile? Thanks so much, Litchfield, for hosting us and fixing all our problems.
No problems at all.
I'm hoping we don't have to come back for the wrong reasons, because we might have gone back to Santa Pod.
Santa Pod Raceway, the home of UK drag racing. This quarter-mile track has hosted some insane cars, and now it's about to host my GTR.
Here we are back at Santa Pod, the place we started to get redemption. We need to get under 11 seconds on this quarter mile, but there is a slight issue with the transmission, and it's to do with the clutches. There's two clutches inside this Nissan GTR, clutch A and clutch B. Clutch A does all the odd number gears, 1, 3 and 5, and clutch B does even number gears, 2, 4 and 6. And apparently the pressure on clutch 2, 4 and 6, clutch B, is losing pressure, and it's not doing so great. That's why we trailered the car here, and we haven't drove it since having the car tuned, so I don't even know how this car feels or what it's like. So we are going to take it up the strip just now to see what it's like, but we need to use the launch control sparingly because it definitely needs a new clutch.
Which would explain the transmission fault lie
stay on the start line